What is a goal? At a simple level, the one I think we all understand is a goal is a result or an outcome that we seek and that we in order to achieve need to dedicate resources to it. Resources being time, money, energy, because it's not just going to happen. These aren't the things we wait to fall into our lap. These are the things that we go make happen. And in order to do that, it takes effort. Results are super cool. Everybody likes results. It's the effort, the work. That's the fly in the ointment when it comes to goals. And if you've ever had a New Year's resolution, you kind of get the concept. You can, as the new year approaches, start thinking of all the things you'd like to work on, the ways in which you might improve yourself. The idea part is easy. Coming up with goals is easy. It's the work that's the hard part. I mean, it's a very small percentage of New Year's resolutions that ever materialize. And that's because it takes effort. It's real work to achieve something. So what does a goal mean to you? Were those goals, when you decide there's a thing that you want and you make it a goal, you call it a goal, but you don't do anything. Was it a goal? I think we should make a distinction between fun ideas that we'd like to pursue and serious ideas that we're willing to commit to, because it's commitment and discipline and effort that makes a goal materialize. So if you decide there's something important for you, so important that you want to make it a serious outcome, you should have a word for that. Now, goal is a good word if you want to use goal for the serious one, but that means stop using it for the casual fantasies. Those aren't goals. Am I learning to play guitar? Those are casual fantasies. Those are things that I would like to try, and I'm not necessarily committed to them. There are other things that are important, and I use the word goal when it's important. We talk to ourselves in words oftentimes and communicate ideas to ourselves, and if goal means maybe, maybe not, I don't know, and we treat it that way, then when you make a goal of financial independence, it's just an idea. You don't really have to do anything for it. Well, that's the first step there, off the blocks is a bad one. So a few thoughts on goals. One, make the distinction between the casual ideas of fun outcomes that you might enjoy pursuing and an outcome that you're willing to commit time, money, energy to achieving. In making that distinction and treating it with that level of respect, you're more likely to achieve the outcomes that you're trying to achieve when you treat it with that seriousness. It's an important distinction. In doing this means you have to know what you really want. Do I really want to play guitar? I mean, it'd be nice, I guess. If you really want something so much that you're going to commit to it, then you have to understand it. You have to lay it out. I mean, everybody wants happiness. You ask people what they want out of life, you're probably going to find happiness is on just about everybody's lists. But I don't think many people could even define happiness. What is that? Is that what it feels like when you land for a week in Hawaii? That you first arrive at the hotel? That's a good feeling. I mean, that's a real good feeling. Does it have to be like that all the time? Is that your bar? That's kind of high. It's got to be that or better, or some of that. And all right, define it. Know what you're wanting. You have to decide what outcomes you really want, because it's going to take work. It's going to take commitment. And if you don't really want it, like the way I don't care that much about playing guitar, then you're not going to, when push comes to shove, you're not committed to it. Don't treat every idea that interests you as a serious outcome you're willing to commit to, because they're not. Now, the reason for this, and my next point, is to have something new, you have to give something up. And this is where we lose people. It's going to take resources, limited resources. The most important resources are time, money, and energy. This is my view of it. Now, if you want to own a home, you are going to sacrifice for that. They're expensive. They're going to take a lot of time. They're going to take a lot of energy to maintain, to fix, to make repairs. It is a different path in life. And the mistake that a lot of people make when buying a house is they think they're going to live with all the advantages of the life they had before, but in a new nice house. Well, that's nothing could be further from the truth. Your old life is gone. If you're going to borrow all the money a bank says you can afford, which 80% of home buyers do, you're going to have a new life. They didn't just give you your old life plus a big new house. They reallocated all the available money to that big new house. So all the things you used to be able to do with all that money, you now will not be able to do. All right? You have sacrificed something, and it's unfortunate when people don't know this. It's a tragedy because now you're house poor. Let's say you want to be wealthy. Okay, that's an okay goal. Everybody sort of defaults to money. It doesn't have to be. If you want to be wealthy, you're probably going to have to give things up. Okay, what's that going to be? Time with your kids? You're going to miss their childhoods? It's been done. It's been done a lot. You're going to sacrifice your marriage? I mean, having a marriage is hard to do to begin with. If you want to chase wealth, it's only going to be harder because people have expectations in relationships that often conflict with the kind of sacrifice it takes to become wealthy. So when you are establishing your goals, you have to realize to achieve a goal, you have to give something else up. These are limited resources. You only have so much time, money, and energy. And if it's going to go towards achieving this goal, it's going to have to come at the expense of something else that it's been used for. Warren Buffett has an idea that I thought was really interesting, and he applies it to business, and I think it applies to life in general. And he calls it 2 lists. The first list is the top 5 goals. And this is for, he gives it to business executives. If you could achieve these goals, they would have the most beneficial impact in your business. And I think the same is true in life. If you had a list of the top 5 things that if you achieved this year would be good for you, that would make your life noticeably better, the 5 best things you can think of, and that would make up the first list. The second list would then be the next 20 things that if you could achieve them this year would make your life better. So you've got 25 of the best things between these 2 lists, the top 5 and then the next 20. Now, his advice is the top 5 is where you put all your resources. That's where you invest the time, money, and energy to achieve those goals. And here's the wisdom. The next 20, that's your do not do list. Don't do those things. Because if you dilute your effort of the top 5 by trying to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that across those other 20, you won't achieve any of your goals. You'll achieve far less because you can't do everything at once. We all juggle dozens of priorities, things that we want to achieve, but we're not clear on what we want most. And that's what keeps us from achieving what we want most, is a diluted effort across all kinds of good things that we want, but not knowing what's most important. Coming up with the ideas, the things that you want out of your life is easy, it's inspiring, it's fun. And having them, think of ideas here and then results here, those are fun too, having the outcome that you want. The problem is in between these 2 points is all this work. And that's what separates a real goal from just a fun idea. If you want to achieve something, you're going to have to work at it. Commitment, effort, action. They're not free. Goals The things that drop into your lap, okay, they're free. Those are awesome. They don't happen enough. They happen, but they're not going to happen enough. So you're going to make some new things happen. So you are going to have to commit. You're going to have to decide, is this important enough, and what am I willing to give up? And if you don't decide what you're willing to give up, as soon as that objective comes up against something, we'll see how important it was when you realize you're giving up something you've grown accustomed to. So what is a goal? Okay, well, as far as I'm concerned, a goal is the thing you really want, the thing you're willing to commit to and take action and work towards. And if you're not willing to, those are just fanciful ideas. They're great, they're fun, they're entertaining, but they're not a goal.